Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Brown Bears Sports Report. My name is Scott Cordischi. Glad you could join us this week. And our show this week is brought to you in part by My Bucks of Rhode Island. When it comes to moving and storage, My Bucks of Rhode Island brings the storage to you. It's moving made easy. No need to rent a delivery truck. No making multiple trips to load a storage unit. Call My Bucks of Rhode Island at 401-597-6400. Well, this week it gives us great pleasure to welcome to the show the Brown softball team. And joining us on the show today is Kate Refsnyder, their head coach. Kate, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Holding up as good as we can.
Well, Kate, it's great to see you and look forward to talking to you over the next few minutes. And you've also brought along a few of your student athletes. Senior outfielder Rebecca Mandelbaum is with us. Rebecca, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
Rebecca, thank you for joining us on the show. Junior pitcher Grace Ladd is also with us. Grace, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Okay, Grace, thank you for joining us. And sophomore center fielder Kat Clum is with us as well. Kat, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you all for joining us. Coach, we'll start with you. Obviously, not what any of us expected, right? The season to come to an abrupt halt because of this pandemic, but obviously it happened and we're all dealing with it the best we can. How are you and your coaching staff dealing with this situation in terms of, how you communicate with the team and even from a recruiting standpoint? I think we're in a dead period right now, but tell me how this has all gone for you.
It's been a whirlwind since, I guess about a week before everything was canceled. We were just in limbo whether we were going to make our Florida trip or not. And like every day it was like, I think we're going. I don't think we're going. We're finding other games. Stony Brook will come play us. And then, breaking the news to the team on March 11th was devastating, especially because the Ivy League, the leaders that we were the first to do it. And ever since then, I think it's really, come into realization how serious this was and that it really was for the best, and the whole world literally followed our lead. So since then, we've had some Zoom calls with the team as a whole. We've been texting with different players from the team. We've had Zoom meetings with each class. We're putting together a fun little activity for this Friday. Trying to at least keep it fun, keep them connected, keep building the program from afar. But my assistants and I, we're digging deep through the emails that we've been receiving for the last few months that we kind of put on the back burner from prospects, but no recruiting for the foreseeable future right now. So everything's just watching video and kind of connecting through email and text and phone calls.
Kate, going back to your days as a player at Wagner College, and you spent many years coaching in the sport as an assistant and head coach at various stops along the way. When's the last spring that you have not been on the softball diamond? It's probably been a long time, right?
Yes, I realized it was 8th grade.
Wow.
That was because I played lacrosse in 7th and 8th grade because we didn't have a softball team for school. So that's quite a long time ago, back in the 90s. So it's really weird being home and doing some landscaping and watching flowers bloom because usually we're too distracted to see any of that happen.
Rebecca, how about you? I mean, obviously this wasn't the way that I think you envisioned your senior season and your career coming to an end at Brown. How have you been dealing with the situation in these unique circumstances?
Yeah, it was very heartbreaking to lose our final season like that. Even though we knew it was coming, at least in a couple months in May for our last games, having it just cut short made everything really hard to deal with. But the team has been a great support system. The senior class has stayed really strong through it. We did a little event right before everyone had to go home and had like a mini senior day, which was really special and something I'll cherish. And I cherish my 3.5 or 4.5, however you say it, years with the softball team. It came to an end so abruptly, but I had a great run throughout the whole time.
Well, Grace, let's talk to you. You were off to a nice start this season individually. I know your freshman and sophomore campaigns were derailed slightly because of injury. This year, you were off to a nice start. And in fact, you pitched very well in that 2-1 loss to George Washington down in North Carolina. So I'm sure you're sorry that you're not playing softball any longer this season as well.
Yeah, it was definitely heartbreaking. I've been injured since I was about a sophomore in high school, so I finally got surgery to fix it this past summer. So this was my first full healthy season, and I was so excited and super pumped to be able to like pitch it every weekend and pitch against a lot more teams. So it was definitely heartbreaking finding out that another one of my seasons was cut short. But yeah, I think as a whole pitching staff, we were doing really well, and I was really excited to see how we as a staff could take on the Ivy. So it was definitely upsetting when our season was ended.
I know you talked about having that surgery and you had shoulder issues the first couple of years. You said dating back to high school. Could you tell the difference? Do you feel like for the first time in some time you were 100%?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'll be 100%, but I felt a huge difference. And it was almost ironic because now that I could practice and play so much more, the rest of my body was so much more tired and kind of beat up because I could actually be a full player again. But my arm felt so much better, and it just makes me even more excited to play next year and get back on the field.
Kat, same question to you. I know you started all 10 games this season before the season came to a halt. And last year you didn't play because of injury. So I'm sure you were just kind of getting your feet under you and looking forward to playing a full season. And then all of a sudden, whammo, it comes to an end.
Yeah, it was definitely heartbreaking.
I think we may have lost Kat there for a second. We'll see if we can work out things with her internet in just a moment. But Coach, getting back to you, you guys, you won that season opener over NC Wilmington 12-3 on February 21st. And in that game, Lauren Innerst, she was fantastic, right? She was your winning pitcher and also went 4 for 5 at the plate.
Yeah, we came out with a vengeance, that's for sure. We came out really strong, and then the rest of the weekend down in Wilmington, I think we started playing nervous. I don't know if we were like, wow, like we could be really good this year, and then just got nervous for it to really come to fruition, or what it was. So we battled through some different issues that weekend, but fixed them all before we went out to California. And even though our record doesn't show it and the scores don't show it, we played tremendously out in California. You wouldn't really think an 0-5 record, you'd come home really optimistic about your team, but I was on a high about it. I was like, wow, we've made some great strides. We were hitting the crap out of the ball. It was just like line drive after line drive, rate 2 people. It was literally just like one error each game cost us a bunch of runs. And we knew we'd be able to clean that up and our hits would start falling. But the pitchers were all doing well. We were seeing good innings from all of them. We were seeing everyone start swinging the bat hard and with a purpose. And then, yeah, just like I said, defensively, it would just be like one error that would cost us the game that would allow too many runs in. But then we would pick it up. We wouldn't make back-to-back errors like Brown softballs used to. We picked each other up, and that's really what we were working on all year, was being able to get mentally tougher and come back from mistakes. And man, we were so excited coming back from California that we had, a great season ahead of us. Even with that 1-9 record, we were like, we're in this. We're in this. In California, we played some great teams. Some of the alums, we had so many alums at our games this spring, and there's only 10 of them, but California was packed with alums, and they're like, wow, like you played awesome teams. Like, we're surprised you didn't get mercied at all. I'm like, well, thanks for the confidence, but it's true. Like we were playing teams that were receiving votes for the top 25. We played a team that had beaten powerhouse Oklahoma and only lost to Arizona by a couple runs. And we hung in there with all the big dogs. So, everything was falling into place. And unfortunately, we have this huge hurdle now, but we need to pick up right where we left off as soon as we're allowed back on that beautiful field behind you.
Yeah, you like that. I was wondering when somebody was going to say something about my Zoom background, right? I thought you guys would appreciate that.
For sure.
Kat, that same question to you that we asked to Grace. Your freshman season, like Grace, was limited due to injury. You didn't play last year. This year, you've started all 10 games for the team. So, you were really starting to get your feet under you, and I'm sure looking forward to playing a whole season. And then all of a sudden, it comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah, so I was trying to say that it was definitely heartbreaking at the moment, not only for me, but for my teammates too, because as Coach Ruff had said, we've been working our butts off trying to get ready through this preseason and in these tournaments before conference just to get going, to get a good feel. And we were really working well as a team together, and we're headed towards an Ivy League championship, in my opinion. And it was heartbreaking when it got taken away. especially for the seniors, because they didn't even get to know that it was going to be over, and then it was over. It was really tough. But I think my mood or my mental perspective at this point has changed from being heartbroken to definitely determined, in the manner of speaking that we have all this time now to get ready for this next season, and we're going to be back with a vengeance, ready to play, not taking any day for granted.
Rebecca, I want to talk to you about something that you initiated off the field. I think this is really neat. You started a Jewish athletic group on campus called the Maccabears. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so around my sophomore year, it kind of started with a group of people. We had one Shabbat dinner, and because we always have practices as athletes on Fridays and then games Saturdays, Sundays, it's really hard to actually be able to celebrate the holiday, let alone other Jewish holidays. So a group of us got together and decided that we would create this club called the Maccabears. And what we do is basically create a space for Jewish athletes to celebrate the holidays. We're even having a Macca Seder today on Tuesday for Passover over Zoom. But it's really great to just have a great support of Jewish athletes. Having Shabbat dinners on Thursday is one of our main things, but we do a lot of other events athletically and for the Jewish holidays. It's just such a fun group.
That's terrific. That's a great thing that you put together. Grace, I want to talk to you a little bit about, first of all, what's your concentration at Brown? And I understand that you're down in Florida right now with your family, but you have an internship scheduled for here in Providence this summer. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my concentration is behavioral decision sciences, and I'm also trying to double in public health because I think that's kind of more the sector I want to have a career in. So my internship this summer is with a public health policy firm in Providence. So I'll be able to live in my house near campus and kind of get to train at Brown, which would be really cool. But basically it's just like a general intern for the public health policy firm in Rhode Island.
Kat, question for you. I saw in your bio that you have an older brother that is a scout in Major League Baseball for the Texas Rangers. Is that the case?
Yes, that is the case. Luckily, he is home at the moment and not traveling internationally. But yes, he is a scout and he loves his job very much.
Yeah, no baseball right now, unfortunately, for him to scout. But I know you guys reside in Fort Worth, Texas, so that's convenient for him, right? I mean, he's right there where the Rangers are.
Yeah, he is. He's right there. He's got a nice spot to watch it all the time.
And is everybody in your family safe and healthy, I hope?
Yes, everyone in my family is safe and healthy. It's been a blessing, but hopefully everything gets better around the world. Yeah.
Grace, same question to you. Is your family all safe down in Florida?
Yeah, so my brother goes to school in New York, but he was able to get out of there pretty early. So we're all here in Florida and we're all safe and healthy and trying to do the best we can.
So he was a senior, if I'm not mistaken, on the NYU baseball team, correct? Does this mean his career is now over with?
Yeah, so he was a senior for NYU baseball, and he is done playing, but he's going to work in baseball. So he actually has a job this summer with a minor league team. So he'll be in baseball probably for the rest of his life.
Rebecca, I understand you're a dual concentrator at Brown, international relations and Judaic studies. Tell us a little bit about that. And I understand you'll be going to grad school next year.
Yeah, so I started out with international relations my sophomore year, and I chose international relations because I really wanted to learn a new language because I believe it's essential to really understanding the region that you're studying. So I chose Hebrew, and through learning Hebrew, I got really interested more about Jewish heritage and wanted to take a couple of Judaic studies classes. And before I knew it, I had already started completing all the requirements for Judaic studies. And so I decided to dual concentrate my junior year. And I love both concentrations. They're great. And I'm going to kind of continue that path through grad school. I'm planning on going to Columbia University's Conflict Resolution Negotiation School for a master's in public policy. And I think it's right on the path of where I want to go. Whatever I end up doing, I know the skills I learn there will be really helpful, especially for conflict resolution when I study the Middle East. And I know I eventually want to go to law school, so I think it really will help me and give me the skills I need to really be able to make a change and difference.
And Rebecca, I know you and your family live in central Jersey, just west of Newark. How is everything there? And I hope that you and your family are all healthy.
Yeah, my family is all healthy, which is really a blessing. We're in a pretty dangerous area based on the pandemic, especially because we're only 30 minutes away from New York, so it's very close. But everything's really been shut down, and we've been staying home, trying to get outside a little bit, but really trying to hunker down here and not have contact with much of the outside world. But we're all safe, which is really great.
That's great. Coach, I want to ask you before we talk about these three young ladies. We were joking about the field, my background here. How much has this helped your program in terms of recruiting? Do you bring young, prospective student athletes on campus, and are they wowed by, your new stadium, which is only a few years old?
Absolutely. I think everyone was always wowed with Brown as a university, and then it was kind of like, all right, let's show you our field. And now it's like, we can't wait to show you our field. And it really does like change the whole tone of everything between our weight room, the new athletic training facility, our field. I mean, there's just so much pride in our facilities that, it's really nice to be able to show them that athletics is just as important as academics at Brown. And both sides are awesome. And definitely people come to our field, whether we're hosting a clinic or we're just having a recruit, and they're blown away by how nice it is. And, we're so proud to be able to say that we can get on it pretty much all year round, which really helps in our training too. And I know when I was an assistant at Brown, 2 of the years we didn't get on our field until April. And now this year we were on it February 1st. So we like to brag about our field a little bit.
Absolutely. And from a recruiting standpoint, I know summer camps are a big thing for a lot of sports. Are they for the sport of softball? And right now, are those on hold given what we're going through?
So we actually have two camps planned for the summer right on campus. And then we have a camp planned out in California and in Colorado. And then my assistants and I both kind of spread out and work other camps throughout the country. And yeah, everything's kind of on hold. I'm still getting emails about our camps, and the June one, like I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we're really hopeful that maybe by the end of August we'll be able to get some recruits onto campus and other prospects that we need to see. Camps are definitely big, but what's even bigger is the recruiting tournaments, which we have no idea how that's going to work out right now. Everyone's still sending their schedules as if they're playing, but I don't know about those early June tournaments, but we're hopeful that we'll at least get out a little bit this summer and, have a good list of kids we need to see. And they're sending videos nonstop. So at least we have something to go off of right now of who our list is going to include or not include.
And Coach, it's a little bittersweet, I'm sure, for you and for all the coaches at Brown, in that, your seasons did not end the way that you thought they would have. And so here you are abruptly saying goodbye to somebody like Rebecca, who's meant so much to the program. She's been terrific for the past 4 years. But I guess, that's tempered by the fact that you got two terrific young ladies and Kat and Grace coming back next year to be a big part of your program.
Yeah, it's super bittersweet. Our senior class has so much heart and so much passion for Brown softball, and I was with them for 3 out of their 4 years as an assistant for their first year, and left them and came right back, and excited to have them for 2 years, and obviously this year got cut short. They're all planning on going on to do amazing things, and of course, if it worked out that we could have had them back for an extra year, that would have been great. But I didn't expect it, knowing that they have the rest of their lives lined up already. But yeah, next year, looking ahead, because as coaches, we always are. We're looking several years ahead at all times. We're excited to welcome a large freshman class next year, and expecting Grace and Kat and all the girls around them to lead and to kind of just, like I said, pick up where we left off back in March, and kind of just keep going and not take our foot off the gas pedal.
Okay, we're going to end it with some fun questions for your student athletes. Rebecca, we'll start with you. What do you miss most about Brown not being on campus?
I really just miss the vibe of campus and just the little things like I took for granted, like being in walking distance of all my friends and how that created such a close-knit community. And we used to have little senior game nights. Like, I'm just going to miss being around everyone and being able to walk and see everyone every day.
Grace, how about you? What do you miss about being on campus? Is there a favorite spot on Thayer Street that you had?
I definitely also miss the people like Bex. I just miss spending time with my teammates, and best spot on campus is probably softball field. So I just miss being at practice with all my teammates and spending time with them.
All right, Kat, you and I share a mutual like for dachshunds, right? We both have hot dogs at home. My question to you is, are there any TV shows that you've been binge watching while you cuddle up with your dachshunds on the couch?
Yes, I have been trying to not watch that much Netflix because obviously I am very busy at the moment with school, and my internship is starting soon. But at the moment, my family and I are watching Ozark, which is basically like a financial advisor gets involved with like a drug cartel. But it's like, I can't remember who the actor actually is, but he's normally a comedic actor. So it's very interesting seeing him take on a very serious role. But that's the show that I'm currently watching that I really like.
And then a last question for all of you. How is remote learning going? Kat, we'll start with you. How have you adapted to remote learning?
So it's obviously very different than going to an actual class and sitting in a lecture hall with the teacher in front of you, which is interesting for me. But I think it's been great that the teachers have been so accommodating with everyone's situation. You saw my Wi-Fi just kind of freaked out and I lost connection. That actually happened to me during an exam when I was trying to write an essay. And so I emailed her during the exam and I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what's going on. And everyone's so accommodating. Obviously, I do miss the aspect of being on campus and being able to study in certain places, because studying for an exam in your bedroom is very different than being able to study in the sci-li for like 8 hours before an exam. But remote learning has been pretty great so far. I think it's just going to get better as we get more adjusted to technology and how Zoom works. But it's been pretty great.
Grace, how about you? 85 degrees, sunny, palm trees outside. Not the best atmosphere for remote learning, right? You probably want to be outside.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit easier in Rhode Island if it's snowing or raining and you kind of don't have an excuse to not do work. But it's been okay so far. The teachers, as Kat said, have been super awesome with accommodating for our needs and helping us kind of work through this, because they're just kind of as stressed out as we are about it. And we also have, at least I have way more free time now to actually do work, because we're not practicing as much and working out as much. So overall, it's been a pretty good experience. But it definitely is not the same as being on campus.
Rebecca, how about you? How's remote learning gone so far?
Yeah, my professors have really went above and beyond to try to enhance our experience and meet students' needs. I have pretty small classes, which is pretty great for Zoom. So we're still able to have our discussions and do a lot of things we normally do. But yeah, my professors have definitely really tried to help us and make the experience the best it could be.
Well, Rebecca, best of luck to you in grad school next year. And thank you for your 4 years of commitment to the program and to Brown University, and for representing Brown athletics so well.
Thank you very much.
All right. And that'll do it for this edition of the Brown Bears Sports Report. Our thanks to head coach Kate Refsnyder, Rebecca Mandelbaum, to Grace Ladd, and to Kat Clum. My name is Scott Cordischi. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
This has been a presentation of Learfield IMG College.